I'll start this by talking about how Nikki and I first met. I was part of a networking group that met here in Las Colinas, and it was the second such group that I joined. The first one turned out to be quite a train wreck, but it also turned out to be quite educational. And so I was very cautious as to the next group that I would join. The first group where I was in, I became president of the group, and you really don't know what the problems are until you get a chance to take over and try to fix them. And so, so I became very intimate with what was wrong with that group, and I set about implementing the tried and true remedies to get us to where we wanted to be. It became very quickly apparent that there were certain individuals in that group who had no interest in that group becoming what it could be because they were gaining quite well from the way that they were doing things. And so in short order, I decided that's a place I no longer needed to be. And so I said goodbye. And so, as I said, I was very cautious in looking around to see where else, what other kind of group I would join. So I found the group here in Las Colinas, and I was very cautious about it, and I measured, and I decided, okay, I'm going to dive in. And so I did, and my strengths lay in being part of a team and helping other people achieve their best. And I enjoy being part of a team. And also, through humility and age, I've come to understand and gain confidence in what I can do. But as I said, through many lessons, and God teaches you in humility, I think that's, until we can really reach the pinnacle of what we can achieve, that's something that we have to have if we're going to truly help people. Anyhow, so Nikki joined this group later on, and I'd been in the group for a while. And Nikki joined the group later on, and so there was this ball of enthusiasm, flitting around the room. And a lot of people in the group were very reserved, quite reserved, and they were looking at her askance, going, "Who is this? And is this person for real?" And those of you that know Nikki know, obviously, that's not unusual. So very quickly, I determined that she was for real. And so we met for a one-to-one for a meeting to get to know each other. And it became very apparent that she was very forward about her love of Christ, and that was a welcome to me. And so that was a common foundation that we both shared. And so that's one thing that we shared right away, and we got to know each other. And very quickly, I put who I was on the table and what I sought to do and what I did and the triumphs that I'd had and the failures that I'd had, and she'd done the same thing. One of the things that I've learned through life is that when you're around people, there are some people, I call them no-effort people. And what that means is there are some people it requires a lot of effort to be around. You really have to try. If you're going to be around that person, sometimes you have to gird yourself to be around those people. And most of the time, family falls in that category. But anyhow, just the way it is. And one of the definitions we had for family in a small group I had, a small Bible group we had was family, people that you would not have anything to do with if you weren't related to them. So anyhow, but someone like Licky is a person that it does not require a lot of effort for you to be around. You just have to be yourself. And if you're not going to meet very many of these people in your life, but if you do, hold on to them. Because if you are who you are and you're a good person, they are who they are and they're good people, then good things happen from those relationships. She eventually left that networking group because it was not what it purported to be. And I eventually left that networking group too because one of the things that we have in common is that we truly like to help people. We truly, truly like to help people. And I'm at my best when I'm assisting others, as I said. I function at my highest when I'm doing that, and especially in a sales environment. And so I've had a lot of opportunities to sell things where I could have done very well, but I'm not helping people. There's a lot of things that you can sell, but and so I ended up in the financial services business, where I could really make a difference in people's lives. And one of the things that I've truly learned there is that for you to be able to make a difference in somebody's life, they have to be able to let you make a difference in their life. You can give them knowledge that works, information that works, techniques that work, products that work, and the correct mix and implementation of those products that can be extremely effective. But not everyone is willing to open their eyes and really take a look at it. Not everyone is willing to overcome the deluge of conditioning that we are subject to every single day. Open their minds and say, what is really going on here? Is this really the truth? Not everyone's willing to do that. Very few people are. And so, as John previously mentioned, I've spent a little time in the Marine Corps. Very interesting adventures, and I walked out. And a lot of people ask me, why did you leave after 15 years? And the answer is that 5 more years would have cost me my kids. I realized when my girls were very young that I was at a point where everything that I'd done at that point, I was an outstanding Marine, but I was wanting as a father. I did not know my girls the way I needed to. And so I walked away, and I have not looked back. But I learned a lot of things from that experience, and I learned a lot of things about leadership, about being able to judge people, about who people really are, about sacrifice, about pain, about endurance, and prolonged endurance and prolonged suffering. And sometimes that's what's called for you to get to wherever you need to go. And I also learned a lot about dealing with adversity. When things happen that you don't expect, how do you deal with it? How do you go on? And, in the Bible, I believe it's in Peter, Christ tells us in this life there will be trouble. And that word trouble can be roughly defined as you will be mugged, you'll be hit over the head. And life does that to you. And that is a natural part of life. And so when Nikki and I talked a few months ago, I was really looking for something else. And it was a time I'd prayed about it, and I'd really, really sought after God and said, okay, first of all, do I have permission to leave? Is this where you want me, or should I go somewhere else? And I'd prayed this prayer many times before, and for the first time, he finally said, yes, you have permission to look. And I was overjoyed. Because I'd learned no answer means no or wait, and sometimes no means no. And so I was overjoyed to get that answer. And so I met with Nikki, and it'd been a couple of years since we talked, and so we just caught up on how things were going. And she related some things that were going on to me, and I reciprocated. And as we shared and counseled each other, she asked me, she said, would you be interested in taking a look at something that just coming and taking a look and telling me what you think? I said, you know what? I'll pray about it and I'll see. And afterwards I said, okay, I'll be there. And, it was walking into that meeting and sitting down and listening to her vision of what she had and the product that she wanted to put out there and the way she wanted to service clients and what she wanted to do for people. I could feel inside of me just the chord resonating. I said, wow, this is it. This is really it. I know I can sell. I don't have a problem selling, but I don't want to convince people to buy something that they don't need. I want to provide something that people need. I want to provide good value in it. I want to be able to do well selling it financially, but also want to make a difference for that person. And the other thing which you really need to have is you want that person to be so happy with what you do that they're going to make it easier and they're going to find other people for you. And so for all these things that come together here, I looked at it and I said, okay, this is a place. And most importantly, minus all that, is who am I going to be working with? Do I know these people? What do they care about? Who are these people inside? Are these people that it takes a lot of effort to be around? Or are these people that are good people that really are honest and want to make a difference? And so all those things have come together here in this nexus. And it's been a long time coming. I've owned a business. I've done a lot of things. Um, but when we look around and finally decide where we want to make our mark and what do we do, there's a lot of things that the world would say, oh, these are great things, and this is where you should be, and this is where you should be. But many times when the world says this is what you should do, the opposite is what you should be doing. You should choose another path. And not everybody's going to see that, obviously. There's going to be very few people that do, but those are the ones that make a difference. And so I'll close by saying this. Being here with this firm and with this company is something that I wholeheartedly believe in. And, you know, I have a bit of an inkling, actually much more than a bit, that looking in the future, I can't even imagine where we're going to be. But I know that I definitely want to be here for the ride and I want to be part of it. Thank you.